Okay, here we are. It's Woo Wednesday. It's Woo Wednesday. Here at Spiritual Business Hour with Lynn Bell. I'm Lynn, and it is Woo Wednesday. That means that we are going to have some fun today because if you are like me and you are here listening to the Spiritual Business Hour or watching the Spiritual Business Hour, it's because you like a little bit of woo woo. So today, we are going to be talking about bringing your spirituality into your business. Sacred business is not just some kind of a vague philosophical concept for people like me and our guests today, right? It's not just some kind of a personality type that is available only to woo woo women who are naturally mystical or even spiritually inclined. So, this concept of sacred business is a practical operational reality, and it helps for us to kind of acknowledge how we begin our day, how we enter a sales conversation, how we make a strategic decision, how we handle our money, we create our content, and even how we show up for our clients, right? These, for people like us, for women like us, these are acts of, this is extension of spirituality into form. And so it's important that we treat it as sacred. Our business, when we are working from this sacred place, it brings a quality of presence, a quality of clarity, and magnetic leadership that using a purely tactical or strategic or even just a secular approach it cannot replicate. I was just on a call. This is awesome. I was on a call just before I came here, and one of the women on the call, and she's somebody I greatly admire from afar. And I just look at her and I think, oh, wow, to be in her circle would be very cool. And she just kind of brought me into her circle. And she said, I've seen you online. I sent you a friendship request because of what you bring. And I'm like, oh, that presence, it's that presence. So the spiritual foundation of a coaching business is not about, being fancy or it's not even about standing out. You don't need to use your spirituality to stand out. It's more about using it so that you can be inward, so that you can bring your most distinctive qualities, your intuition, your depth, your feeling nature, your empathy, your ability to hold space, your capacity to see what other people cannot see and to say what other people cannot say. When that gets pushed down, that's when a coach like you, a coach like me, and a coach like the women that are here with me today, that's when we get weak, right? Where your business starts to be less effective. And it's not because you're doing wrong strategies in your business. You have a funnel, you have a website, you're showing up on social media, you're creating content, but it's what's inside that is not authentic or connected to your power source. And your power source, if you're watching this video, your power source is internal, it's in your presence. So, again, welcome to the Spiritual Business Hour with Lynn Bell. I'm Lynn, and I've got friends. I've got friends. Now, first of all, we have Renée Ambarees. She is an international best-selling author, speaker, body identity mentor, and creator of Yoga for Peace. Hello, Renée.
Hello.
We also have Magdalena Grace. She's known as the womb whisperer, and she helps women heal ancestral money wounds and awaken the feminine power that fuels abundance. Tell me that's not important. Liz Rankin is a retired U.S. Army Sergeant First Class, and she's the author of Girl, Just Make the Damn Decision, right? And that's a great title for a great book. And Jennifer Seifert is here. My dear friend Jennifer Seifert is here, and she is an energy alchemist and a life strategist, and she is going to help you, like, she's going to help whip your money into place. And let me tell you something. If you're like me, if you are spiritual, you might be a little bit disconnected from your money. You might feel a little bit cut off from stable income. I want to tell you, Jennifer Seifert is the woman that you want to talk to, and you better do whatever you can to follow her because she has some tools, because she can relate to you as a spiritual woman, but she also really knows how to manage money. So, welcome, my dear friends. Welcome, everybody, uh, to the Spiritual Business Hour. So when I signed on today to Spiritual Business Hour, my friends all had out tarot cards. So we're going to talk about, what it means to have a spiritual business, but part of today we're going to also take some tarot cards. Who wants to give their interpretation or give their definition of what a spiritual business is or what a sacred business is? Who wants to start? Go ahead. Renee?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taking the card. I'm showing it. And first of all, even if you're not familiar with tarot cards, what do you see? What is sticking out? So what is the first impression you are getting? And so it's, for me, I see the number 4 4. So
Mm-hmm.
all about, this is like structure and structure, the female and the masculine. And it's just like, for me, the 8 is, when you count this together, it's infinity. And it's about power. And it's about, you are not alone. Okay? You are not alone. Even sometimes we feel alone. And this is where, this is, I want to open up, because this is an amazing spiritual hour, an amazing come together to get different ideas.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Um, that card to me, I saw Earth moving. I'm like, oh, things are on the move. We're moving forward. And I definitely tuned into that 44 and felt that 8 energy and the stability. So really, it felt like moving, but also maybe moving to higher ground. That's what came into my mind when I saw it. What does the word stunky mean? Did it say stunky at
Mhm.
the bottom?
No, it's Stärke means power.
Oh,
Oh, power. Okay.
Power.
nice.
It's all about the power. So, and it's even, I mean, that's German, but it's even what was written is about, just like, you are not alone. So even if you think, so you are not balancing everything on your own. So let me know. I was just closing it. And
Beautiful.
Jennifer's having the English one. I have to go on the translation. But it's,
I'll go tell the English one after, and then we'll get back.
Exactly. Don't.
the real power,
Mm.
real power is not, you are not alone. The real power is coming from a higher source. That's what this is about. And this is where we have to understand. So even if you think you have now the power, always remember, and the biggest challenges, the biggest things you have to do, you can't do on your own. So the universe will always guide you. And it's about being in this river. And this is all about just like the soul connection. Okay?
Mm.
You are getting infinity sources. So
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. So who wants to actually talk about, like, what does it mean to have a spiritual business? We've learned that from Renee, that it's about understanding you're not in this alone. You need to do this with source. Magdalena is putting her hand up. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there's an old saying. I don't remember who first said it. I know Zig Ziglar has been coined to say we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and our business is an extension of our gifts, our dharma, if you want to call it that, of how we are of service. So to me, even like lead generation sales has been one of my spiritual gifts. As weird as that sounds, it's like that message of even Christ himself was quote unquote a salesman, but he was just passionate about the truth and sharing that. So as a coach or a guide or a facilitator, practitioner, your passion, your purpose, your reason for being is an extension, and you get paid for it. Oh my gosh, money is spiritual, money is sacred. Our business is our sacred gifts and give back. And how we tune in, exactly what Renée said is true. We tune in with spirit just to stay in alignment with our core values as part of our spiritual extension of who we are and how we be of service and show up and make someone's life better as a result, and we get paid for it. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, it is. Fantastic. Does anybody else want to chime in on this? Go ahead, Jennifer.
I love what you're saying, Magdalena, and I love the power thing that Renée was saying, because part of my tagline that I developed in my brand as I was growing was purpose, power, prosperity. And your business is definitely, it's a container that your imagination, that your purpose is creating. And it's not only an extension of you, it is you, especially in the coaching world, personal brand. Your personal brand first. But you have this entity that you created as a business. And when you're present, I always feel like, well, I know this. We have this energetic field around us, right? And I like to think of our business as an energetic field that you're in the middle of. And when you have support, like you cannot be in your power 100% without the help from other people, just like Renée said from her card. And in this live stream, there's 5 of us right now. And this live stream is even better and bigger because there's 5 of us on here. And even in the summit, in the Liberated Coach Summit, there's 20 speakers in there with 20 gifts. And we are creating something bigger and better than one person could create alone. But we're all bringing our personal brand, our purpose, and the extension of our purpose, the gifts, the coaching programs, the ways to get connected with us. And so we're so big. We're so big. And it's not because we're totally 100% left brain and practical and linear. It's because we are spiritual beings in flow, accessing higher intelligence, being connected to our imagination, and getting into the field of potential. Potential. And one thing about a spiritual business owner that's a little bit different from the 100% brick and mortar or the 100% left-brained business owner is that we do create this temple for ourselves. We do create this because of a calling. We do create this with that spiritual, sacred presence that we know we're meant to do this.
Absolutely.
There's degrees of spirituality. So you could, some of us might be more spiritual than others, but you got called. You're following your mission here.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I feel like we're all spiritual beings with a purpose. I don't care what we're doing. Sometimes when we're failing, our purpose is in the failing. If we're in addiction, our purpose is in addiction. I know that can sound harsh, but this is a spiritual business hour. We're not trying to gloss over things and act like, stuff isn't difficult. We're not here on earth to have a very easy, light life. We're here to be in what is difficult, what is challenging, what is, what we perceive as being contrary to light. And then with that, we can actually start to know more about what the light is by experiencing the contrast. So absolutely. I mean, if we can break free of our addictions in this lifetime, great. And if you don't break free of your addictions, if they take you into the grave, you know what? You get another life to get it right.
That's gold. I mean, it's just like, this is to see it from this perspective, because everything what I'm teaching or the challenges, the real just like deep valley I had to walk through. And this is when it comes to whatever life is bringing you, life is for you. If you master it, then it's your gold nugget.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Exactly. And if you're not mastering it, you're in the alchemy. You are in the petri dish. You're in the crucible, and that is a blessing. It is a blessing to be alive, struggling. It is a blessing to be alive, thriving. But I'll tell you, you recognize the blessing if you if you're thriving after you've struggled. If you come into this life and you had no fight, nothing to fight for, you don't recognize that the blessings you have. You go through something that's contrasty, and you feel so much gratitude, and you have so much compassion for people. And this is what we bring into our businesses. As far as I'm concerned, you know, your business purpose began with your very first struggle. The very first thing that you struggled with is the start of the business and the purpose that you are living today. I find it to be incredibly fascinating.
100%. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, totally with
Liz,
that.
do you want to say something? I saw you down there. You were like,
Yeah, I'm with it. I am all with it. I'm going to say this as maybe the more new woo-woo CEO business owner, because I heard there was a little bit pushback from some of the viewers saying maybe this wasn't for them, but I want you to challenge yourself to get uncomfortable with the thought of the possibility of bringing spirituality into your business. Because as someone who used to push against it or thinking it really had nothing to do with business, I found a community. I don't even know how I stumbled across a certain community, and they were talking about spirituality and God and all of these things. And I was like, wait, are we allowed to mix the two? And I really had to start to think, like, what told me in my life experiences in my past didn't give me the permission to mix spirituality with business. And once I discovered, like, people were doing it, I felt okay. It was like it gave me permission to be able to use spirituality in business. And it's been exponentially good for my business. So I just want to challenge those who might have been my past self, where I didn't think, like, no, the two didn't really mix, but it does. It absolutely does.
wow, gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing that. And with that being said, I want to ask, how do you bring spirituality into your business? Who wants to lead that? I know you all have so much information right now. Let's go with Magdalena, because you all got flooded. You're like, well, I do
I
it
know
here.
how to steal the floor again.
Let's go with Magdalena. Go ahead, lady.
Well, first of all, my name says it all, and I just have to give a shout out to my girl, Mary Magdalene. It's her day today, July 22nd. The Pope finally pulled his, well, anyway, I won't say that on camera, but the Pope gave her own day in 2016. And so for me, I'm living it. I'm a death doula of sorts, meaning I work with death, rebirth, renewal of the human soul, and liberating women and empowering them through their womb, and just a whole lot of other things. And so for me, I'm a yogi and I teach yoga. I'm a runes reader. I have my runes right here. I do divination with my clients, because I always tell them I'm a space holder. I'm not a guru. I'm here to help you remember who you truly are and wake up the divine from within. So I have a podcast. I have all these things. So I'm very out there. That was kind of what you alluded to earlier. Like I had a dark night of the soul, wanted to die, rock bottom moment, because I was wearing all these masks and not letting my freak flag fly, and not being out there. And coming out of the spiritual broom closet was what I needed for my awakening and for my clients to lead by example. Because a lot of people, mostly women, I take them through that process to really tap into their fully human and fully divine self. So for me, like, it's very blatant. It's almost all the time to just be able to bring in the mind, body, spirit. I say, again, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So I was that person, like I think Renee said that, Liz, I can't talk about my spirituality, and that nearly killed me. So I think as this planet wakes up and we're heading into the new earth, the golden age, more and more of us are out there and learning how to respect people with differences, because we're done with the separation. We're done with being in the closet. We're done with hiding. And I think it's important to have open conversations about that. I've worked with Christians, I've worked with atheists, and I think we're all starting to learn that we're no longer separate. We're all one. So let's just be open about it, right?
Yeah, really, really nice. I love this letting your freak flag fly. Yeah, excellent. Who else wants to share about their practices, like how they bring spirituality into their business?
I can. So yeah, I come from I've been in lots of careers, and I've always been a spiritual person. And I have had the big challenge of being secret about it and keeping it hiding, because when I did show it, I was told, like, don't say anything. You better not say that in front of people. But they would say, oh, you're very wise, instead of I'm intuitive, or I'm wise too. But I remember being used for my gifts, but they did not want to know how I was doing it.
Wow.
In my background. And so
wow.
It pissed me off. Okay. Let's try not to swear there, but I just decided I'm doing it anyway. I'm just not telling you about it. I just became very discerning. In that process, though, it put masks on me, because I had to explain I had to defend myself, those kinds of things. So I've had to work through all of this proving energy and performance energy, because I was in this world that was really linear and logical. And I'm highly creative and visionary. And so to keep my visionary and creative side awake and alive, I went underground and I didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
And that closed me off. And then as I started coming back to myself and like being open about it, it was hard for me to be received in a way. Like, I was in a linear logical networking group with mostly men for a whole year. And I was coming out with saying I'm a shamanic practitioner. Like, if you see, I want to just be Jennifer Seifert, because I could have tons of titles under my name.
Right.
And I was like coming out as shamanic practitioner, but helping with your business and helping with all of these things, your life and business. And people would tell me, shaman scares me.
Yeah, of course.
And then I have to go do all of this, like, it really hurt me, because I thought, I'm sick and tired of having to change to make people comfortable.
Yes.
And Magdalena, like, I'm so like, yeah, you're doing it. Like, go for it. Do it. The time is here now, because I've been studying, the things I'm studying right now are about frequency and transparency, and how the non-linear world, the linear world, and then there's this spherical holographic world. So I'm noticing the more and more I embrace, like, just being in my field, in my presence, and understanding that I'm a creator, and I'm ending up in rooms with other creators. And this summit is full of other creators. And this summit is one of the most highest frequency summits you could be part of. I know this because I created a summit at the beginning of the year that was very similar in energy, very aligned, and people were showing up and being their true selves. This is a summit that is doing the exact same thing. So there is 3 or 4 days left in this summit. Get in this. It's on demand. Get closer to us, because if you've ever felt like you've had to hide, that you get criticized for being who you say you are and using a title that somebody doesn't understand, you're trying to contort yourself into making other people feel uncomfortable or feel comfortable, and all it does is make you feel more uncomfortable. This is the place to start connecting with people and reaching out with us, because gone through that kind of stuff. Every single one of us in this room right now has gone through that.
Exactly. It's funny because honestly, running your business today is not about running your business. Don't get me wrong, there is business, but if you are not showing up with your spirit intact, with your soul intact, you are going to find yourself struggling, right? Especially as we move more and more into these higher frequencies. And I really, with the Liberated Coach Summit, I want us to have both. I want us to have that feminine spiritual stuff and the masculine stuff. And I think it's just so important that we have them both. So very good. Yes. Renee, would you like to share something about how to bring spirituality into your business?
Yes. But I also know that we have an amazing job here to create the language to bring awareness of what spirituality is, and that this is nothing where you have to be scared. Okay. So I remember, because that was my biggest challenge, 2010, I know I left the corporate world, and I was teaching just like how you can bring high performance in your job without side effects. And this is spirituality. So, and I was working at the university, and I was working in insurance companies and in banks. So sitting there with their tights and everything. So, and I was always getting just like the feedback. There's a different language. Sometimes we don't understand. And so the word esoteric, the secret knowledge, so we have to bring it in the daily life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also our job as coaches, mentors. So, but again, for me, embodiment, it's starting in the morning in the mirror. And I want to give you a spiritual example, what I mean. Your eyes are the gateway to your soul. And I don't believe in the aging bullshit. How big or are you able to open your eyes? And this is where you can see and feel, is the soul really home? Okay, so my 4 magic moves are helping you to open that, by the way. This is the gift in the sound. Yeah, just like to bring this on the point. But so I had a conversation with a lady. She said, oh, I had this droopy eyelids from childhood on. Imagine I'm sitting here with one eye closed and the other one is just like, okay, so how much do you think you are able to see? How you are able to receive? And by the way, even this is a habit. No, your skin is the largest organ. You have to bring everything in place. And you clean up your home. You have to clean up this here. You have to put everything back in place. And when your droopy eyelids are, this is not aging, because I know that it's just like your gateways are closed. And this is something to do with self-worth. And this is why I want to really bring this in a different way. So that is spirituality starts in the morning. So Jennifer was trying it. So I'm looking forward to have a before and after pictures. And everybody can just like try it. Let's make a difference here together.
I'm more than trying it. I'm doing it. And I don't, why would I stop doing it? It's working.
I love it. I love it. Ladies, we've all been in business for a while. We've all gone through different phases in our business. My question for you is, when business got scary, or when things got scary, or when things got busy, what was one of your practices that went first that you noticed? Now, yesterday, Jennifer, you kind of inspired this question because you said, I noticed that the music went first. When, you would normally listen to music, then all of a sudden you're like, I just can't listen to music anymore. I'm just going to focus, or something happened. But that's kind of where I'm going with this. Would anyone like to share? Would you like to share on that, Jennifer?
Sure, but go ahead, Magdalena. I'll come in after.
Okay, go ahead, Magdalena.
I was going to say, I'll be really quick. Meditation and exercise, those were like my non-negotiables. But as I was going through my dark night of the soul, and when I got to rock bottom, I recognized that I actually started over consuming social media and alcohol at night that took over my ability to even want to meditate or be able to exercise. And it was my dissociation and way of just checking out, because I just didn't love myself at the time. And those were the main things: meditation and exercise.
So meditation and exercise were the things that you kept, and the
that I got rid of. I thought you said that we were.
Oh, no. Okay, so sorry, I did misunderstand. But yes, no, you are correct. You answered correctly. It was that meditation and exercise were the first to go when things got tough in your business.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Same twinsies. Yes, meditation left, exercise left, and what came in was overeating and over consuming media. For me, it was television or videos, movies, anything that has, where I could get passive and just kind of veg out and be entertained and live through other people, on the screen. So yeah, those were the ones that would leave. Jennifer, would you like to share?
Yeah. So the music is a signal, and the dancing is a signal to me that I'm not enjoying life to the fullest, because I love dancing and I love singing. And so when I start, and I was a smoker. So if I start wanting to have cigarettes, I'll be like, I'd love to buy a pack of smokes and just sit down, smoke pack. And occasionally I would. Okay. But then my exercises, I don't want to go to the gym. And definitely my meditation practice will be put on hold. So I call these coping mechanisms, right? Or unhealthy feeling habits. And yeah, Netflix becomes my thing that I want to do. And even reruns, because there's nothing on, right? Like, so I'll watch a rerun so that I don't have to think. I can even nap while I'm doing it. But it robs me of my goals. It robs me of my dreams. It robs me of my purpose. And there's nothing wrong with it, because here's the thing. It's the contrast, okay? Don't beat yourself up about this.
Right.
Because while I would be sitting there smoking, I'm thinking and contemplating. And I'm noticing and being aware of, like, ooh, interesting. I'm coping right now. Why am I coping? And normally for me, it's my relationship, okay? It's something in my relationship that is going on because I love my business, because I'm doing my purpose, but it's something else that will come in and take it away from me. And, everyone has their bad habit. And yeah, I'm outing myself here. And this is one of the most shameful ones nowadays, right? Like, you don't want anyone to know that you smoke.
I know. Oh my God. Like, oh my God. That's such a, that's a vulnerable share, Thank you for sharing.
I'm outing myself here. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was a smoker. I lived in Paris. Of course I smoked. Not going to live in Paris and not smoke some cigarettes and drink some wine and walk along the Seine and hang out in fancy, French restaurants. Of course I'm going to smoke. But it was back in the early 2000s, and I don't do it now because I don't want to tear up my body or my energy. But still, though, I can relate. Does anybody else want to share? All right.
I just want to bring a different perspective in, and I also want to just have your perspective, because I think everybody knows when we are falling out, we know that we are not taking care of ourselves. And this is, I'm preaching. I make you accountable in the morning. The first thing, if you don't do this, you get lost. And this is how I'm tracking myself. This is pretty where this is a mirror. But what I also, and this is, I have no idea how you experience that, because I'm all about cleaning up. After every client, after every session, you have to feel in your body if there's a sucker or not. Because if you have too much sucker on yourself, then this is why we are not doing it. It's so, and this is specific in the coaching business. This is so important that this is just like, it's cleaning, it's the hygiene. It's, so this is where we have a different awareness to bring.
Yeah.
So and then how you are getting back on track? Is it easy for you, or what is it? Because that's what the spirituality means then for me. It's just like, okay, how you can come back home.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
how we can take care that we are not missing it. And so it's tracking. This is the masculine structure.
Yeah.
And that we can start. It's a 4-4, like structure for the feminine and for the masculine.
And the 4 magic moves.
Yeah.
Or magic moves.
No, that is just
Clean myself off here.
Ladies, how do you know what's the difference between how do you know the difference between spiritual guidance versus fear dressed up like intuition? Right? How do you know the difference between spiritual guidance that's true, Liz, I see you, and fear dressed up like intuition?
Well, I actually had this thought not too long ago, because I'm somebody, after my divorce, after everything happened, I said I will always trust my intuition. I will always trust my gut. And this was 7-8 years ago. So I've applied that throughout my life, and sometimes it didn't work out the way that I thought that it would. And what I've realized is sometimes, like Crystal Lynn said, fears come up. And I believe it's all about awareness. Is that fear from something from your childhood that is being almost masquerade as intuition? Is it a limiting belief you were taught? Is it something that you picked up from an experience that you are applying that is not actually your intuition, but the fear piece of you not pushing forward or overcoming an obstacle or having a difficult conversation? Is it, for example, like if you had a really hard time having difficult conversations, or your parents had a hard time having difficult conversations, and that's subconsciously ingrained in you. And if you are mid-30s and you're like, I'm not going to have this hard conversation and it's business related because my intuition is saying this hard conversation isn't what we need to do. That's actually fear from your childhood. So for me, it's becoming more aware. Like, let's actually say, okay, what's going on? Let's pause for a second. What is coming up? Is it really your intuition, or is it something fearful?
Wow. It's funny. You're reminding me of a conversation that has happened over and over again over the course of my work as a spiritual business mentor. This is part of the sales conversation. So a woman will come in, Crystalline, I've been following you for years. Everything you say, it makes sense. I've followed your testimonials. I love the work that you're doing. I really want to work with you. Let's get on that sales call. We get on the call and I tell them about the program. Oh my God, this is going to work. I can see it. I can see myself. And then they learn the pricing, the investment, where they now have to not only just talk, but they now have to start investing money and time and energy. And that whole thing backs down and it becomes, well, I don't know that this is the right time. I don't think that this is right for me. I don't think, it's basically fear dressed up as intuition, and everything led you to this. You've been following for years, and now all of a sudden you're in the hot seat and it's not going to work. I call people out on that. This is something I was talking about. I'm so sorry, but what you're saying sounds like a cop-out. It sounds like fear. And boy, the pushback on that, especially when it comes down to money, and when it comes down to larger ticket prices, like, oh, I can feel very easy. I can give you $100. I can give you, for some people, I can give you $1,000. But if I need to give you 2,000, my fear is starting to come up because now I'm starting to take care of myself and I've got to be accountable to those outcomes that I'm not sure that I'm actually going to be able to follow through on. There's a lot that goes into that mindset.
Well, and I mentioned that on one of our shows earlier about the tuition, right? Like, if the price isn't high enough, you're not going to do the work. So it's like they're on the razor's edge of a decision, right, Liz?
Yes. Right.
And now they're wavering because they make it about the money instead of making it about, this is what you want. You've been calling for this. You have been looking for the people to help you. And now they're right in your face saying, I have what you want.
Right. And I'll walk you through it. But this is where spirituality starts to, where the spiritual rubber gets to meet the road. Okay. Because honestly, for me, spirituality is an ecosystem. It's not just something I talk about because everybody's talking about it and I just want to be a part of the conversation. For me, spirituality is something that I live and breathe and step into every single moment. When my mom died, like right before my mom died, I got a download that said, sell your business and travel the world. Sell everything that you own, sell or give it away, and then you are going to just travel around the world. So I went from, I have a successful day spa, I'm making all this money, I've got all these employees. I went from that to actually I'm selling everything. Either the place is going to sell within the next 6 weeks. I mean, who sells a business in 6 weeks? I did, right? I did. Why? Because I followed my spiritual into my spiritual download. It said sell the business and leave now. That's what I did. That takes balls. It takes balls to be able to actually do what spirit says. And many people are not willing to truly give that over to spirit. They want to be the ones in control. Was it scary for me? It was absolutely scary. Are you kidding me? Selling every single thing that I own and whittling my life down to 3 suitcases and a cat? Like, that was crazy. So for me, this whole thing of bringing spirituality into my business is a very real thing. We talked about tarot cards. I do that on a regular basis, but this is also, when women come to me, I ask them always, how do you feel inside? They don't know how they feel. Well, you're going to have to stop thinking. You're going to have to start using your feeling nature, your femininity, your intuition. Feel what's in your guts. Feel what's in your hips. Feel what's in your knees, because that's where your answers are. Okay. All right, y'all.
I totally relate with that story.
Don't get me started.
You might have to go for a 2-hour session here. No.
I know. Look what the time it is. Oh my God, I'm crazy right now. But we're talking about my favorite thing. Let me give you all one more question, okay, to wrap it up. Let's see. What is one specific ritual that you honor over the course of a season that is directly related to your business? Is there some kind of a ritual that you do on a regular basis? Maybe it's the moon, working with the moon, working with astrology, working with the seasons. Is there something that you do and you particularly put that in there with your business? Okay, who wants to share that?
I mean, I pulled out my feather, or one of my
Okay,
feathers.
look, I'm sick of you two, the twins right here. Do you see these two fanning
It's
themselves?
actually super humid here today, but this is an owl wing. Like, this is a shamanic tool. This isn't a fan. I could use it as a fan right now. But no matter, if you're coming to me for, you just want financial support or whatever, that's really not going to just happen. I'm a guide, and part of the guide brings every part of me out. And part of my work includes singing, rattling, drumming, using the feathers, working on clearing all those hooks and attachments that Renée was saying that get on you so that you start coping. You don't know why you're coping all of a sudden. Well, I help clean all that stuff off. And so I use my feathers. I use my tools. I have my tools behind me here. I'm constantly using my tools.
What's in that bottle?
This is Aqua Florida. And so I've been to Peru many times, and I go there annually as much as I can to do new plant diets. All my plants, the shaman sung into multiple bottles, but all the bottles, I blended them into one. So this is the total of all of my plants that work with me. It's called Aqua Florida. It's blessing water. So you blow it on people. I put it on myself. You know, I'm constantly working with my tools and keeping myself. People who are healers, spiritual teachers, coaches, it's very imperative, and Renée already said it, you have to keep the antenna clean. You have to keep yourself clean. And when I clutter myself up, I mean, I'm the worst one for cluttering myself up. You can't blame anyone else. It's me who clutters me up. If I forget to, if I start cluttering myself up and I fall off of cleaning myself up, then I'm full of hoocha, which is a Peruvian word for dense energy. Dense energy is not negative or anything. It's just heavy stuff. So you want to be cleaning yourself off a lot. And I know that everyone, if you're a coach or a healer in the spiritual realm, you have a technique and a way to do that. But this is how I operate, and I help my clients with that too. So
excellent. Beautiful.
Somehow, somewhere.
Beautiful. Go Magdalena. Go Magdalena.
Yeah, actually, as a pagan witch, I have rituals every day, but I'm not going to list everything. So I work with the 28-day cycle of, you know, the new moon, the full moon. I have a Witchy Woman membership, host classes every month and teach all this stuff and live it in my own life. So normally I charge 5 gallons of water under the full moon every month, and I utilize that in all sorts of different rituals. New moon is great for money. Full moon is also great for love. I do yoni steam with that full moon water also to cleanse and purify myself once a week. But definitely, you know, right after that full moon to let go of what didn't work for me in my business and my life, even in my health, because it's all impacting our business and our bottom line if we're not healthy, and just let that shit go and honor the moon and sing and dance and do all the things to help clear the clutter. That's the simplest way I'll explain it.
Beautiful. I love
rituals.
Okay, sorry, I'm getting a little feedback if that's somebody who's got, okay, now it's stopped. Thank you. Anybody else want to share their ritual? Go, Renée.
Yeah. So connecting with your body. So the 4 magic moves, you have the shortcut to my spiritual routine, because it's not just like 4 magic moves, they are making magic for you. That soul can come in and you get a different view. And that is just like, even if I've been to bankruptcy, I have 4 times in my life, I lost everything. The toughest one was when I lost my children, and even just like losing my face because the guy was not marrying me. So I had 2 wedding dates that were not happening, and when the family is dumping you. So I've been to a lot, but again, the spiritual, it's just like, I like the moon, I like the tarot cards, but it's really, you have to come home, and you have to come home and you have to feel that, and you have to connect to your body. This is my spiritual ritual. That's easy and simple. And the 4 magic moves, again, I want to start a revolution. So, and the revolution is starting in your face, okay? A smile, open, closed doors, and your smile will getting tested when you get to hard times. Okay, this is where this is your compass, and this is the most spiritual thing that was just like, I studied my whole life from head to toe since I'm a little child. The smile was not my favorite thing. So,
Very good. Excellent. You know, you can get Renée's 4 magic moves at the Liberated Coach Summit. That's the best way to get it. It's free. You can sign up using a link in the comments or in the caption here for the video. And there are 20 speakers that are helping you elevate your business, helping liberate you from the shackles that are holding you, keeping you stuck, keeping you small, keeping you overworked, underpaid, and invisible. So you sign up now for the Liberated Coach Summit. It goes on until Saturday. Saturday is absolutely the last day to get it, unless you want to pay $27, okay, which is not a lot to ask, but you know, it's still, you could get it now for free. So sign up right now for free. Now, I guess that's all I really want to say right now. Why don't we wrap things up and ask our guests to please share what gift they are offering for you all at the Liberated Coach Summit. So if you sign up for the summit, there are 20 of us speakers. We all have a gift, and my gift is an assessment of how stuck you are. So there are 5 shackles. There's a shackle around your mind, your time, your business, your money, and your pleasure. And my assessment is going to help you understand how shackled you are in those 5 areas. When you take the assessment, you are going to get a guidebook that's going to help you break free from those shackles. Now, the rest of the speakers and our ladies that are here today have an interview in the summit, and they have a gift to offer you. Let's start with Renée. She will tell you, maybe tell us, everyone can tell us about their gift, and tell us about her gift. Renée's going to do that formally, tell you what her gift is and how you can get it. Go ahead, Renée.
Click the link below. And again, the 4 magic moves are here to transform your life and your face, and you will become a role model. So
yeah,
will get you out of emotional situations. If you have cravings, if you are whatever, it will activate your posture in your face, and it will help you to stay in the present moment and release the tension from your neck. If you have job problems, whatever it is, I want to have the miracles for you.
Fantastic. And it's a little mini class. All you have to do is sign up. You go click on her name and then you download her class, right? Who wants to go next and share what they are offering during the summit? Go ahead, Liz.
All right. I am Liz, and I am offering a workbook that helps women to make the damn decision, which I speak about a lot. I am writing a book. It's called Girl, Just Make the Damn Decision, and the workbook complements it. So you'll be able to go through hard questions that you need to answer, and you need to face reality. But it's going to work you through a process, build momentum so that you make those decisions. I always say, either way, you're going to make a decision, whether you're going to not do it or you're going to do it, but at least make the decision so you know how to pivot afterwards. So I offer that gift to everyone, and I'm thrilled for everybody's gifts. They're all so amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, honestly, as a life coach, as a mentor, as an entrepreneur, there's so many decisions that you have to make every single day. Somebody said yesterday that you make 70,000 decisions in a day. Oh my God.
Yeah, so 35,000 for the average human. But if you are a mother who has to make decisions for her children and an entrepreneur, combine all that, 70,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of decisions, man.
Crazy.
A day.
Don't even know.
Right. Excellent. Thank you, Liz. That's a great gift for people. Magdalena, I saw your hand as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much again for having me. And I'm excited to, because of the summit, I am unleashing my first ebook entitled 3 Keys to Reclaiming Pleasure, Power, and Prosperity Through Your Yoni. Yoni is Sanskrit for vagina. And there's also on the back end of that a 21-day challenge to become a womb whisperer in your own right. And I'm even going to throw in a free pass to an online Yoni Steam class as well.
Perfect. That's really nice.
Really nice.
I feel like an entrepreneur today needs that yoni work. Okay, especially if you are over 40 and you're getting into perimenopause and your hormones are starting to go whack and you're entering the midlife crisis or the midlife transition or however you want to call it, the midlife upgrade. There's a lot that's going on, and there's so much energy stored around our vajayjays, our vaginas. So I think that
So
that's a
I think
really
a really
good place to
good
start.
place to start.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And that's our yoni is right there with the root chakra, right? So that's our ancestral patterning. All those 70,000 decisions you make, they're not even really just yours. We're influenced by so many. So
Mhm. Great. Thank you.
Great. Thank
All
you.
right. And
All
Jennifer,
right. And
please.
I love technology, don't you?
I know it's last day of Mercury retrograde. Come on.
Get Current is my gift. It's a Get Current quiz. Goes along with my talk, which is Get Current, so you can have more profit, freedom, and impact. And it's being present with your business. And it's a 1-minute quiz where you get to open your eyes and see and answer questions that are going to give you clarity of what you are avoiding, what you're not looking at. And it's going to be like questions like, are you paying yourself from your business? And it's going to give you some feedback about how much pressure financially you are under your business. And for a spiritual entrepreneur, this might be something you might not want to look at because you're wanting to manifest and all that kind of stuff. But believe me, you can manifest more when you pay attention to your money. Money loves to flow. That's why it's called currency. You want to get into the current. You want to be present with your money. You want to be aware and noticing so you can make better decisions. Like that might be why you can't make the decision, right, Liz? Because you don't know about your money as much as you should. You don't know how much you can spend. That might be why you get into debt, is because you might be overspending in your business. You might be overspending on things that you don't even know about because you're not looking into your business enough. And so get current.
Beautiful. That's a great gift. And if you are a spiritual woman, you need to be paying attention to your money. Okay. Your clarity around your money is where you're going to move beyond whatever stagnation you have. It begins with clarity. And Jennifer's assessment will help you do that. All right, my dear friends, I want to thank our guests for being here and sharing your wisdom, sharing your light, sharing your beauty. And I want to thank our viewers for participating and supporting us here. All right, we'll go ahead and sign off. Bye for now, friends. Bye, everybody.
bye, everybody.